Today's Captain's Blog is made possible by a grant from the madman, Mark McGough. Thank you, sir, for being awesome.
It's probably the first time he's have moved at all. How long?
Oh, it's, yeah, years.
These used to be the ones in the MGH.
Pop the boards. This is our chief of security, Maggie. She's quite vicious, ferocious, and backed up. You good? Okay. So, every week we do something that no other nonprofit in the world does, and it's kind of remarkable. Everybody knows what Consumer Reports is? Well, there's a similar thing called GuideStar, which is like super duper Consumer Reports, and they are the watchdog organization of nonprofits all over America. Every nonprofit organization at the end of the year files what's called a 990, which you should read. If you're ever going to donate to any nonprofit organization, read their 990. It's free. It's on the internet. They're easy to look up. GuideStar rates all the nonprofits and holds all of us accountable. Out of 2,200 nonprofits just in the city of Grand Rapids alone, that's just the city, which is a tiny part of Grand Rapids. There's 3 out of that 2,200 that hold a GuideStar Platinum rating for accountability and transparency. We're one of them. And one of the reasons why is what's about to happen. We have 3 TV stations that broadcast live from this building all day, all night. Right now, Channel 1 is on that camera, that microphone. It can see and hear everything I say, and they can hear everything you ask. And for the next 10 minutes, on live, unedited television, broadcasting to anyone on Earth with an internet connection who chooses to tune in. There's no limiting factor at all. You guys get to ask me absolutely anything you want. There are no rules to this, and there's no possible way for me to prepare or control anything or put any spin on it because it goes out on live television. There are no rules, I have no notes, there is no net. And I'm not just the high voltage guy here, I'm the president and founder of the company. And the car thing's broken. I don't know whose that is, but that'll be fun. It's going to be on the next video. It's the west side. Somebody could actively be stealing your car right now. We should take a look. It was yours. Oh my God. Alright, so 10 minutes. What do you want to know?
So where is parking?
Huh?
Where is parking?
There's a really big parking lot in the back.
Okay.
And it's easy to spot because it's the only parking lot on this block that has fire trucks, boats, and live satellite trucks. It's a fun place to hang out. But yeah, you just drive around that side and park in the back. Don't drive around that side. You'll end up in a maze of little alleys and that. You go around this side and it's right back line. Next. See, this is real ultimate power. One of the reasons we do this is because it's my job to teach people your age to ask questions and demand evidence, especially people in positions of power and authority, because someday, God help us, you're going to vote. This is how you do a better job at that. My job is to make you a pain in the butt for anybody you're ever going to vote for. Next, what do you want to know? You guys are easy.
Well, you can look a lot of stuff up online.
Yes, you can, but most people don't.
So materials, I mean, we kind of touched on people can drop 4x8 sheets with trucks in the back, but is there like a list that you can say I'd like some plywood and you guys work with people on that?
Yeah, if you have special materials needs, because like if you need a 2x4, that's easy, you go to Home Depot, but
Yeah.
if you need a sheet of 2-inch thick ultra-high molecular weight polyethylene, that's hard, and we can get that, we can like, okay, you need this, we know where to get this, like, we know where to get any basic material you can want from isopropylene to heavy water. Like, if you need it, we know where to get it.
Can you use chemicals here, like isopropyl and stuff like that?
Within reason. Like, if you want to come here and make Astrolite, we're going to talk. But if you wanted to come here and make sugar rockets or something like that, we can hook you up with a safe environment to do it. We have some basic rules that follow fundamental common sense, health, and safety. But beyond that, you're pretty free to do whatever you want here. That's the idea. And we don't have... Every rule in our safety manual is written in blood. We don't have unnecessary rules. Like, if we have a rule about it, it's because somebody bled. We don't just be like, oh, you can't do that. You might hurt the wee precious children. That's stupid. Let's kill a couple kids. Let's have some fun. They're easy to make. They make new ones every day. It's okay.
So how busy does this place get?
It depends wildly on the day. Like,
Yeah, but I'd be surprised it's kind of like dead end right now.
yeah, it's super dead because it's Memorial Day weekend. We're loving it. Like, this is the whole tour. We have tours like where it'll be like a tiny, tiny group like this. We have tours where it's standing room only in this room. And there's no rhyme or reason to it. But today it's beautiful outside and it's Memorial Day weekend. So people are like, I could go to the science lab or I could be on a boat. Go on a boat. I'm going to be on a boat by the end of the day.
True story.
Yeah. It's parked in back.
Did I read online that you guys have like a kiln and stuff like that?
Sometimes we have a kiln, sometimes we don't. Right now we're between kilns. We'll have another one soon.
Okay.
The equipment we tend to get is either really awesome, shiny, brand new, or it's old and busted and somebody donated it from somewhere else. And that's the old and busted stuff. We run it into the ground and then we scrounge a new one. Right now we're scrounging a new milling machine, new kiln, and a new TIG welder. Right now we don't have a kiln, but if you want to make one, I can help you do that.
Okay. Do you have any other ceramics equipment? Like slab rollers, extruders, anything like that?
Sometimes I don't know exactly what we're going to stock. That's a particular field that I know nothing about. So we have some stuff in that, but I don't know what we have because I don't know. But hang out, ask around. If we've got stuff, you're welcome to play with it.
Okay.
And if you want to be hardcore in your ceramics, we have a forge, which is just a kiln with attitude. Yeah. It's a little tiny box filled with fire, gets super hot, will melt steel, so yeah. We got that.
Yeah.
So do you have lots of members events like that where you'll just invite everybody to melt steel, or is that kind of ad hoc?
It's very ad hoc. We do some events, and some are members, some are staff, some are public. It's all over the map. We've got a thing coming up for Father's Day where you can come and laser engrave like your kid's signature into a hammer. And keep that hammer. We should do this. And you know, that's like getting super booked out right now. But there's always something going on here. But the idea is that while we do a lot of event type things, we tend to focus more on what do you want to do today? Which is why classes here tend to be one-on-one or a very small group, like 2 or 3 on 1. And they happen as you schedule them. If you want to like take a class and learn how to do 3D printing, you go to the front desk, you go on the website, you book a class. And it's just you, and it's super cheap. If anything, most of our classes are free. And you hang out with a dude for a half hour or an hour, however long it takes, and learn the basics of 3D printing. Instead of sitting in a room with 30 people trying to keep up, and you always have to go through We try not to do things at the lowest common denominator, because it's a really terrible way to run a school. We try to be like, what do you want to know today? If you want to come today and do 3D printing, cool. If you want to come tomorrow and do robotics, you can do that. You can bounce all over the place. If she wants to come and learn how to drive a forklift, we can do that. That's the idea.
So you have a lot of computing stuff downstairs. Do you do AR stuff here at all?
We do a lot of stuff with every aspect of computing you can imagine. From the biggest AR, VR type thing we have going on is the flight simulator. That's a giant red cockpit in the other room. That's the biggest thing in action we're going on right now. And that's intense. Because nobody's ever made a flight simulator with a movable cockpit that used a real aircraft. People have made stationary cockpits with a real aircraft. That's how we fly drones over Fallujah. The guys that are flying drones over like Afghanistan and stuff like that, yeah, they go home every night at the end of their shift in New Jersey. They show up at work, they go inside, they sit in a cockpit, they fly a drone for a while, that's their job, and they're like, okay, cool, see you, Bob, be back tomorrow. They go home, another guy takes their place. That's how they do that. It's really cool. And people have made computer-generated aircraft for like flight training into cockpit moves, right? But nobody's ever done a real aircraft, which we have, and a movable cockpit. So when you flip the airplane, the cockpit flips too. And it's taking FPV to a whole new level.
So how much is that per hour?
I'll let you know when it's done.
Okay.
But right now it's free, but you better be able to solder. Because we're building it from scratch.
That's awesome.
But we already, it's 90%. Like, we're into like the final phase of hardware, and then the nightmare that will be the kinematic software development. That's where most of the work is. But the hardware, we're like almost there. Next, go.
So, within the last year, we've seen Tech Shop close.
Yeah.
And then, just recently, GR Makers closed.
Not yet. They close on May 31st. That's my birthday present.
So they close on May 31st. Does this say anything to you, or do you have opinions on what this says about the industry of makerspaces?
Yes.
Do you think that they're on their way out? Are they getting bigger? What's
No,
going on?
I think that we live in a capitalistic society. The free market is God. And Tech Shop, giant for-profit company. GR Makers, for-profit company. People are learning that for-profit plus education is about as good an idea as for-profit plus prison. There are certain things in the world that should not be driven by a profit model, that should not be run as a classic, capitalistic for-profit business. There is a place for the nonprofit sector, and we've been a nonprofit. GR Makers was in business for a total of like 4 years, 5 years. Tech Shop has only been around for like, I don't know, the past like 8-10 years. The Geek Group was a makerspace in 1994, fully a decade before the word makerspace was invented. We existed before Make Magazine existed. We are the largest, oldest nonprofit science and technology makerspace environment on Earth. And a large part of that is because we're approaching it from the nonprofit standpoint. We don't have to spend all day long justifying ourselves and justifying our existence and justifying expenses. We do what we do for the sole purpose of making the world a better place.
What year did you say?
We started in 1994. June 4th, 1994.
So is this like the original one?
The Geek Group is the headquarters. We're the original, yeah. Not this building. We didn't start in this building. We moved here December 28th, 2010. We originally started over on Ionia Street. 344 Ionia Southwest. Back when that building still existed. They tore it down in '99 and put in a big apartment building. If you know where the Globe building is downtown on Ionia Street, right across from the big park, right next door between the Globe building and the overpass, that was our first home. And we've been doing this for 23 years. And we've been doing this for 23 years and have not yet had a year in black ink. Our entire revenue last year, and for you guys this is actually going to sound like a lot of money. Our entire revenue last year was about, give or take, $4 million. And the only reason we pulled that off is we have a 99% volunteer staff, and we're able to do a lot of stuff on a shoestring budget. The amount of money we spent for 43,000 square feet, a city block with a staff of 30 people, is less than the DeVos Institute up the street has for a budget for office supplies. Like, they spend more on Post-it notes than our entire operation.
Do you guys do any food stuff here or have plans for that?
Any what?
Any food?
Yeah, we've been kicking around the idea of a commercial kitchen for years. I need somebody who wants to take it and run with it. I'm willing to provide the space. I need somebody who actually wants to run the department. And we do a lot of stuff with agriculture-related things, because I'm a redneck farm kid from Coopersville, and I got a lot of friends from that world. And they just, like, we did a whole thing for fodder, which is a fancy word for cow food. It's grass. They grow grass in containers. Like the big shipping containers, they make things where you can park these and grow cow food year-round, so you don't have to feed them silage. If you like corn, okay, corn is the ear of the corn, right? Okay, well there's the whole rest of the plant that people don't eat. Cows think it's okay, they'll eat it. Cows aren't picky eaters, but they like grass a lot more, so they figured out how to grow grass in January in large enough volumes to feed cows. And they do this in really heavily modified shipping containers, and the guys that are doing that designed the containers here. It's surprisingly a very similar process to the people that are building the tiny house in the back.
Do you have 3-phase power in this building?
God, yes, I use a lot of it. Did you see the lightning?
I've been wanting to combi oven, but it's 3-phase power, and that's kind of like how much you get.
We have 3-phase 480 at however much you're going to need. No problem. Go.
Do you think there's a difference between the type of maker that comes to a nonprofit makerspace versus the type of maker that...
No, because we get kids like him that want to come here and make rockets and blow stuff up, and I get guys like him that want to come and do business development and incubator space. We can service either side. It doesn't matter what their goal is, as long as they have a sincere, passionate desire to learn. That's it. That's the line. If you want to learn something, if he wants to learn how to blow stuff up, if she wants to learn how to TIG weld, if he wants to learn how to build a company, they all fit here. That's the idea. It's, what do you want to learn? We don't dictate that. All right, last chance. Any other questions? Check out. Good. Thank you for coming. This is what you need to know. Membership in Tech Shop was $150 a month. Membership in GR Makers was $70 a month. Membership here is $20. $20 a month. It's $5 a week, and you spend more than that on Taco Bell, and I know it. Okay? I want you to come here and design and create and build. I want you to be the next Harvey Kennedy. You have no idea who Harvey Kennedy is, do you? Okay, that smart guy over there in the orange shirt, I'll bet $50 right now has no idea who Harvey Kennedy is. I will, in fact, bet $50 right now that not one of you knows who Harvey Kennedy is. You shut up. Never works. Harvey Kennedy is the guy you want to be. Harvey Kennedy is your hero. You don't even know it yet. Harvey Kennedy made a pile of money, invented something that almost every person in America uses every single day, and you've never heard of him before in your life. He didn't have to deal with being famous and all that crap. He just got to make piles of money because he had a good idea. Harvey Kennedy is the guy who invented the aglet. It's a little plastic thing on the end of your shoelace. It sounds stupid, doesn't it? It's like, this is not rocket science, right? Okay, how would you like to be the guy that gets a tenth of a penny for every one of these at Nike sells? Yeah! Harvey Kennedy spent Memorial Day weekend on a boat. Okay, membership is $20 a month. Go to him right now and say, shut up and sign me up. He wants you to get involved. Because someday, you're going to grow up and be an engineer. That's my mission in life. Thank you, everyone. Have fun. They're all yours. Sign them up. Huh?
You got a camera?
Yeah, I want my camera.
I was just checking.
In a boat? What the hell am I going to do with this?
You let the bodies hit the floor, let the bodies hit the floor.
It's raining man. Amen.
It's not exciting, but
still see the rainbow.
What's that?
It's all in blood now.
Nice.
But the sheep are gone. The sheep are gone.
It's been 7 days. Guessing violently from Wall Street.
Someone grab this left green.
Yeah.
Now let's do it all in reverse. Whee!
Sweep that, please.
Sweep the leg.
Sweep the leg, Johnny! Alright, bring me an orange piece. Let's just do it away from home.
I don't remember which side's on top.
I want that side towards me.
Can I go this way?
Yep. Yes.
Nope, I got it.
Lift up just a little bit. Down a little bit, maybe.
Support that green piece for Batman.
It's always the first one that has any issues. There we go. Alright. Another orange piece.
Bless you.
My name is Elder Price.
And compress.
I would like to the most. Oh, that bastard.
Mother.
Love this piece of shit.
There we go. Bring out another orange piece.
Another orange.
Flip it.
It's upside down. It's upside down.
These grooves want facing up so the wood can spin. Level
Pull back.
Cross beam.
In.
Bring out the shit.
Oh,
There you go.
this is easier to do.
I'm not that good. I'm not that good. Go low, guys.
There you go.
Come down, come down.
Say when.
Right there. You're not seated. Yep.
Now we're gonna go down.
Rotate.
Same height.
Populated with wood.
Right. Then we put it against the wall.
Nah, are we? Well, hold on. Let's build the other, then we'll push it all. Then populate it with wood. Because you're right. I appreciate you, Steve.
Watch yourself.
Good morning. Good morning. It's great to stay up late. Good morning.
That's a shift.
Good morning. I'll bring the orange face. To you. When the band began to play, the stars were shining bright. Now everyone's on his way. It's time to say goodnight.
I wanted to make sure.
Good morning to you.
Today's Captain's Blog is made possible by a grant from the madman, Mark McGough. Thank you, sir, for being awesome.